we are back for a review of The Shallows.
30, 40 yards. It takes him 32 seconds.
So I saw this movie over the summer.
Which was much more shallow than Jaws.
Yes. Yes, it was. I have no idea if that pun made sense or not, or if my agreement to that pun made sense. Anyways, I saw this film in the summer, this past summer, in June. Right as summer was beginning as far as the summer movie season, which was pretty lackluster this year. Kind of a disappointing summer. But this was one of the gems of the summer movie season, and I really, really enjoyed it when I saw it. We recently just watched it again because Marco had never seen it before, so we just got done watching it. What'd you think?
That's fine.
It's fine?
That's fine.
I mean, people are calling it the best shark movie since Jaws. That's not really saying a whole lot since the Jaws sequels are like, you know...
Jaws 4.
Jaws 4. It's just, Jaws 3. Yeah, no, I mean, the cinematography is beautiful in the movie. I just want to get that out of the way right now. It's beautiful. Mm-hmm. It really is. The underwater shots, the overhead crane shots, everything is just gorgeous. I mean, it's a very nice-looking movie, and apparently it's a very hard movie to film, as Jaime Collet-Serra said, in like behind the scenes, it was extremely hard to film on the water. They had to film a lot of it in a tank of water, and even then, like, the weather patterns were like messing up the shooting, and it's just very, very hard. So he actually felt very accomplished when the movie was finally finished. Mm-hmm. So, similar to Jaws, the story is a little different, but not terribly different. I mean, I'd say it's pretty similar, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing.
Smaller scale, though. Much smaller scale. There's not many actors in this movie at all. Blake Lively as Nancy, that is basically the only person in this movie that you really care about. I mean, a couple of other people as far as her family members, and a couple of people, like surfers, on the beach with her, but minor characters at best.
Right.
Right, so...
nobody cares about them since they die anyway, so...
yeah, exactly. Spoiler alert, well... No, that doesn't really... Some die. You'll find out when you watch it. But what happens is... What? What happens is her character is going through a midlife crisis. She's quit, like, I think college? She's either college... Oh, no, it's med school. She was a nurse in training, and she's kind of going through a midlife crisis because something family-related has happened, something traumatic. We're not going to give that away. So she was originally going to come to this beach with her sister to get away for a couple of days, just like, you know, get away from it all and get her head on straight, I guess you could say.
Well, I mean, if her head wasn't on straight, then she wouldn't be able to act, would she?
No, I suppose she wouldn't.
But, yeah, sure, I guess. Just to forget about traumatic stuff to go surfing, I guess.
Well, I mean, she is a professional surfer, as we see, so...
But, I mean, she was a nurse, then traumatic stuff happened, then she gave up. Like, okay, well, now I'm going to surf.
I think a lot of stuff happened that the movie doesn't really go into a whole lot. It kind of just shows in certain flashbacks. Not really flashbacks, but kind of like in dialogue, you find out what kind of happened. But that's not really the center of the story. So she comes to this beach. Her sister gets sick and is unable to go with her, so she's going alone to this beach to surf for a couple of days. And that doesn't seem like a bad idea on the surface, but when you don't really know anybody at the beach or like around the beach, and you're not familiar with the area, things can go awry very quickly, as this movie explores. So, similar to Jaws, she's surfing, and at one point, she comes across something. I don't want to give it away, but she comes across something and disturbs the feeding ground of a great white shark. And thus we have our movie. Very small scale compared to Jaws. Not many characters in it. She's about the only one we care about. And she's now stuck on a rock. She's in the shallow. Well, it's called the shallows. She's in the shallows, which is, I think she's like 300 or 3,000 feet from shore. I don't remember. Something like that. She's close to shore, but the shark is circling around her and she can't get there. So it really tests her willpower and skills to get back to the beach safely, and I mean, just staying alive in general. So, and this movie executed the tension, I think, very well. Every time her hand would go underneath the water, I was like, oh man, is the shark gonna bite it, you know? I think it was executed really well, and just when you think the shark's going to, like, attack her or something, that big reveal, it actually doesn't come until a little later, so it's like, oh, shoot, you know, I thought we were going to get past that part, and then it comes later, and you're, like, completely taken off guard. So, and as far as the shark goes, it was CGI, it wasn't an animatronic. I think they did a pretty good job. It was pretty scary looking and real.
I mean, as far as sharks go.
As far as sharks go, I think it's maybe a little more deadly looking than Jaws. I mean, that was a long time ago that Jaws was made, so the shark is supposed to look more realistic and more refined in this, you know, because it's a much newer movie. I mean, this is like 16 plus years after Jaws, so it shows, obviously. I think where this movie shined was the whole survival aspect of her character Nancy trying to get back to the beach, and for a 80-minute movie, 80-something minute, it was really thrilling to watch. Yeah. So story, yes, we talked about it briefly. Acting, again, Blake Lively, I think she does an incredible job with what she's given. I mean, she basically has to pull through the whole movie, and you have to care about her character. And if you don't care about her character, it wouldn't work. So, thankfully, she does, and it's more thrilling to watch because you're like, this is a person that I feel like I could relate to. She's not like, you know, superhero or anything. She's just a normal person dealing with a crisis right now, and she's trying to get away from it. So, but that's you know, and the whole aspect of finding help and trying to get people's attention to get back onto the shore. I think the way they executed it was surprising, because for an 80-minute movie, it kept me interested. Did it keep you interested?
Well, I mean,
It felt
I think it was
slow at
it
times.
was, yeah, somewhere towards the middle.
Felt a little bit
just
slow.
I was just okay. Let's, you know, move on.
Let's move on. Yeah, yeah. And there's a little seagull friend, kind of like the Wilson of this movie from Castaway, that is on the rock with her, and you know, she's kind of thrown in there. I like that. I mean, it's kind of like
Seagull's best character. So.
Yeah, Seagull best character, like Castaway with Wilson, or Independence Day, Boomer will live. You know, it's always the animal, or always the smaller part character that you care about more, because you know the main character can't die. I mean, I suppose they could have, but
that'd be stupid.
that would be
So,
yeah. It would.
I mean, yeah.
It would just be really depressing. So
It'd be bad. It'd be doom.
But the way she survives that's not really a spoiler, because I'm going to assume we knew, I think I knew before going in she was going to survive. She didn't. That would be a really sucky ending. Yeah.
Where she's like, you know what, screw this, and she just tries to go back to the shore and ends up getting eaten at the end of the movie.
Yeah. And
like, shark wins.
and similar to Jaws in the sense of like showing the shark, it does a good job of only showing parts of it until a certain part in the movie. Like halfway through, and then when you see it, you know, every time he jumps back up, he's still scary, you know, because he's still like, this film has a lot of very brutal, just underwater sequences, you know. She gets the living crap kicked out of her in the movie, so it was, it made the experience more real, for me at least, watching as a viewer, and more exciting, so... And that brings me to action real quick. For such a small-scale film where you're just in this, not even ocean, it's just like the shallows of an ocean, and she has a rock, She
Title
has
drop.
something else that she finds that she can get on, a rock, that, and then a buoy. They do a pretty good job of stretching out what could happen in that circumstance.
Yeah.
And when she got to the buoy, it was... I mean, that's my favorite part of the movie because it's so intense, and it's like, oh, you're holding your shoulders and maybe shaking at that point because the music's revving everything up, and that's another thing. The music by Marco Beltrami, unfortunately not by John Williams, of course, but I think the music was really good too, except for the parts where it kind of felt like a GoPro music video.
I mean, I honestly thought that the the music direction could have gone a little bit better. Because, you know, with music that doesn't fit, it usually just takes me out of whatever situation going on.
Yeah.
And it's like, not really feeling it.
Yeah. I mean, I think some parts of the movie could have been a little more refined, and some scenes could have been cut, you know, maybe a couple, but for the most part, it feels like every scene fits, and is crucial to the story, and it works. So, you know, and it's pretty inspiring as far as the movie, you know, that this woman could actually survive something this horrific happening to her, and it's pretty effective, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the music was really good. It ramped the tension up. I was very, very tense throughout the whole movie-going experience when I saw it in the theaters. You know, when you see it on a smaller screen now on DVD, it's not quite as tension-filled because you feel more safe. But when you're in a movie theater and you're hearing the surround sound and everything of like the water and the swimming and the shark coming and all that, it gets the adrenaline pumping.
Yeah.
Sure. So I think the music was pretty well handled for the most part. Like you said, there were a couple of scenes that could have been just taken out completely. Yeah.
Yeah, or just have better music.
Yeah, or have better
make it
music.
better.
So the music was a little bit too poppy, a little too, I don't want to say present day, but a little too modern. Like, I feel like it could have been a different genre of music for those certain scenes.
Right.
And it still would have worked, but would have worked better.
Mm.
So, that's it. We covered all 4 categories. I really enjoyed the film. I think it's pretty underrated as far as summer movies go. And it was one of the certified fresh movies on Rotten Tomatoes over the summer because there weren't a whole lot. There were, as far as big blockbusters go that were wide release, this was one of the few. I'd say there was maybe 6 or 7. I don't know. That's an estimate. But I'm going to score this thing. I'm going to give The Shallows 7. 7 out of 10. And I wanted to go 8, but I think a couple of the things just could have been a little more refined. So 7. 7 out of 10. What would you rate The Shallows?
I would probably stretch it to an 8.
Really?
Probably because, I mean, what they did right was, really good. Mm-hmm. But the only things that would prevent it from being, like higher, like a 9 or something, would be probably music direction. Mm-hmm. Could have been better, like I said before, and I think it could have been a little bit shorter. So
yeah, they could have cut probably 10 minutes.
Could have ended just, a little bit sooner.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I pretty much knew what was going to happen. At points, I pretty much knew what was going to happen.
Didn't really take you by surprise a lot of the time.
Yeah, it was like, oh, well, saw that coming. Mm. But, it didn't really...
So
shock me. It didn't really shock me in a way.
A little predictable then.
Right. But, that's pretty much what I would say. I give it 8.
Well, now that I've taken that into consideration, I've listened to what you said, I think I want to change my score. I think I would give it an 8 too, because we can't do a 7.5. I don't do decimals on this show. So I think I'm going to go 8, because I think it is deserving of an 8. Now that you've said your piece, it kind of made me realize that it is better than a 7, I think. And I just needed a little bit of a little bit more information to kind of realize that.
Mm.
So yeah, 8 out of 10. I'm going to retract my 7 and make it an 8. I do recommend seeing the film. It is pretty exciting. It's not terribly long. It's shorter than an hour and a half. And I think, besides a couple of the music choices and how it could have been cut maybe 10 minutes, it's a good movie. And you should watch it. So, 8 out of 10 for you, 8 out of 10 for me. I'd recommend watching The Shallows. And that's all I have to say. Is there anything else you wanted to finish with? Or?
I didn't know who Blake Lively was.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, she hasn't been in a terrible amount of movies lately. I mean, she was in The Age of Adeline, and I think she was in Cafe Society this year. She's the wife of Ryan Reynolds.
Oh yeah, I knew, I knew who she was married to. It's just, I didn't know she was in more than just this movie.
Oh yeah. She's selective.
movie.
She's selective about her movie roles. I would say she's more selective, and she hasn't been in as many films as Ryan, I would say.
Mm.
But she was in Green Lantern. They met on the set of Green Lantern, and that's what later on led to their marriage.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
So would Lively be her maiden name?
Yeah, I think so, because he kept Reynolds. So
Okay.
yeah, I think that is her main name.
So she doesn't go by Blake Reynolds.
No.
Since they're married.
No, it goes by Blake Lively.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think anybody calls her Blake Reynolds or Ryan Lively. That doesn't.
Well, I mean,
that'd be
I
weird.
don't know why he changed his last name, because that's not how it works.
Right, exactly.
But whatever.
Yeah, so. Yeah, but hopefully it looks like she's going to be in more films, and I feel like this was one of her best performances. I haven't seen her in much, but just for her performance alone, the movie is worth watching at least once.
Yeah, I'd say so, yeah.
Okay, cool. Alright, so that does it for Rock Movie Reviews. Hopefully we will be back with some more. Maybe we'll review the Jurassic Park movies. We'll see, I don't know. It just depends on if we have enough time, but, day off on Columbus Day seems to be a nice window of time to review some movies. So, I'm doing my best to find more time to shoot the reviews, but for now, we're just going to keep putting out our, our videos. I'm not going to say what they are because we always keep them under wraps until they're released. So, yeah. Alright, so thank you for joining me. It was fun. Yeah, check out The Shallows, and we will see you. I'll see you guys in the next episode of Rock Movie Reviews, as well as our next video, which I'm not even sure what it's going to be right now. So you don't know, I don't know. Tomato, tomato.
Right?
Yeah. Alright, so I'm rambling. We will see you guys in the next review. Peace out.